I'll let him do the rest of it explaining to you. And without further ado, we have Brother Tariq Ricard Ill. Give him a rousing round of applause, please. Islam.
Islam, Moabites. Islamism. We are here today to set up our government, I understand.
That's right.
And our government has to be a sound one. It has to be a well one. It has to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And in order to be healthy, you have to start out with the first thing first. What is the first thing? What's the first thing you can't do without?
Water.
Come on. If you don't have clean water, you're setting yourself up for an early death. You're going to dry up inside. It is your organs inside that are the most important. Those are your vital organs. That's why they call it vital. All of your enzymes that you're supposed to be having in your stomach are destroyed because we put poison in there along with the other stuff that's already there. That if you were to put your hand down into your stomach, you would burn your hand up. But it doesn't kill you, it doesn't burn you up, does it? Unless you start drying up. Once you start drying up, once you dehydrate, and the second leading cause of death in this country is called dehydration, chronic dehydration. First leading cause of death is what? Anybody know? Lack of sleep. Sleep deprivation. And the military has proven this because they use it as one of their torture methods. Sleep deprivation. Get anything out of you. I brought some material I wanted to share with you. I got it. 9 reasons why people get sick. Shut up. Don't tell you. Phone is talking to me. The 9 reasons people get sick. Lack of knowledge. We perish for the lack of knowledge. Lack of proper hydration. Lack of proper nutrition. Lack of digestive enzymes. Lack of oxygen. Where do you get oxygen from? From the water as well. H2O. 1 part hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen. So the air and the water are your 2 most important elements, folks. You got to get that straight. You got to replace the 2.5 quarts of water that you use up, sweat out, urinate out of your body every single day. And if you're active, you even do it even more. So it is very, very important that you hydrate yourself properly and keep yourself well hydrated. Lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen means that your brain is going to be in dysfunction. The number 1 food for the brain is oxygen. Right? And here's the number 1 cause of our sisters and brothers out here who seem like they don't want to go to the bathroom. Lack of elimination, folks. It's one of the main causes of illness and disease. Lack of exercise. Walking, just basic walking, folks, every day. You walk a mile, you walk 2 miles, you walk 3 miles. Some people like Dick Gregory, they walk 10 miles a day. Can you do that? He's 83. He walks 10 miles a day. You see? So, exercise is very important. Low pH level. If you don't have proper pH level balance in your body, that is to say 7.4 is neutral. If you have a 7.4 neutral pH, you're going to be cancer free. In other words, the cancer that you're all carrying around with you doesn't come out because you keep it at bay. One of the number 1 causes of illness today is in the shower, folks. Y'all shower, some of us shower 2-3 times a day with hot water, and we breathe in those gases, the gases from chlorine and the gases from ammonia. Chlorine and chloramines are in the water. You breathe that, you're going to have breast cancer, you're going to have cervical cancer, you're going to have all kinds of problems with your body because you're ingesting gases that are toxic. Every day, we are exposed to about 210 pounds of toxins in our daily lives. We poison ourselves 20 to 40 times a day with all the products, all the petroleum byproducts that we use. So this knowledge is very central to our future, because if our children don't learn these things from us, what kind of future are we going to have? See? So let me just run a couple things down here I had brought up, especially for the mothers. You know, nowadays California has a new rule. It's not a law because you can't make laws in a bankruptcy, but they have a new rule they're going to try to enforce upon you, you mothers and fathers of children. They're going to make you vaccinate your children. How many vaccines are available to our children today? Do anyone know?
80.
120. Now, even if it was only 20, it's too many.
Right.
Because why? Because all vaccines, none of vaccines are tested ever for safety. So there's no vaccine that's safe. I have a book on it. I published a book, a self-published information survey on vaccinations years ago. And just the ingredients in vaccines, folks, just think about this. Why would you put sodium aluminum phosphate, formaldehyde, carbolic acid, thimerosal mercury, horse hairs, pig hairs, poop? In the hepatitis C vaccine, they use feces. In many other vaccines, they use fetal tissue from aborted fetuses. See, so there's no safety in any vaccine. And for all you mothers who want you, and if you're not homeschooling, they're going to try to force you to do it in the public school system. So what you have to have is the proper documentation to give to them, to let them know that you are not the one that's going to have your children vaccinated. They don't need it. It's unsafe. Vaccines, if vaccines were safe, why do they have a court in Washington, D.C., a special court in Washington, D.C., just for vaccinations, injuries from vaccines? They paid out over $2 billion in the last 20 years for this. See, so no one can come and tell me that vaccines are safe, because there is no such thing. So you really have to be strong in your resolution to not vaccinate your children. Because, again, the smallpox vaccine, for example. How many here are smallpox vaccinated? Come on, everybody raise your hand now, because
It's been around for a while.
yeah, smallpox vaccines contain SV40. No, that's not smallpox. I'm sorry, that's polio. Smallpox vaccine is from a cow. Vaccine, the word vaca, means from cow. That's where vaccinations come from. And the first vaccine that they put out was the smallpox vaccine, which caused a lot of smallpox. And it also caused a lot of death and injury. In fact, the doctor that started the smallpox vaccine in England, he vaccinated his first son, who died of tuberculosis shortly thereafter. He didn't vaccinate his second son, but he's still the king of vaccines. He's still the one that they tell everybody that he's the one started vaccines. It's all superstition, folks. Fluperstition, stuperstition. It's all stupid. So I have a flyer up here. It says fluperstition. Any superstitious belief regarding flu, the flu is short for influenza. Webster's 7th New Collegiate Dictionary on page 433 defines the influenza as the belief that epidemics were due to the influence of the stars. Or it's the demons and evil spirits that they're trying to get out of you. You see? So we're talking about cave dwellers, troglodytes, running the show. Children of the planet running the show. They're going to tell us that we can't take our children to school if they're not vaccinated. Yes, sir.
In terms of the proper documentation that you mentioned.
Get the mic, Mo.
I'm in the mic.
In terms of the proper documentation that you mentioned to protect our loved ones and ourselves, lawfully, what do you recommend? Islam?
All right, I recommend the administrative process, and I also recommend sending them 2 letters that I have in my possession, and I would be glad to share with any of you who need it. This documentation makes them prove up who they are, and it makes them prove that what they're doing is safe, which neither one of them they will do. So from there, you can get a nice billing on them for not responding to your paperwork, to your inquiries and your information that you're asking them for. And once that you've gotten that, they're in default and they're in dishonor. They can't do anything. And you can have them arrested because they're lying. And they're not only lying, they're killing our children. That's where the rubber hits the road. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up right now. So I have some information here that I want to share with all of you later about our story. Because see, our story is the story. There's no other story but our story. His story is all a lie. We know that, and we have the books back here to prove it. So it's our story, folks. If you stay with your own story, you never can lose. You understand? So let's keep ourselves hydrated, oxygenated, and well. I'm in my 8th decade on the planet. Okay? I didn't get here. Yeah, I didn't get here being
Still dancing.
Yeah, and dance and walk and run and do all the things that, you know. So yeah, so any of us can do this. All of us can do this. But you got to keep your insides clean. And when people go around talking about, oh, I got a cold. Well, guess what the word cold is? It's an acronym. It means chronic organ lung disease. That's what cold comes from. Just like AIDS. Acquired immune what? Acquired immune what? Deficiency. Can you catch a deficiency?
Negative.
No. So it's all a lie, folks. And how do we know they're lying? Their lips are moving. Peace and love.
Islam. Give him a rousing applause, family. That's a measure right there. And don't let this man get away from your sight without asking all the questions that you need. Islam. Praise Allah. And without further ado, I'd like to bring my beloved brother up here, Manuel Sanchez Bay. Would you do us the honors, beloved? The shaman. That's my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.